That's okay.
He's got big feet.
Everybody likes you. It's fine. We're all going to laugh at you. And we're on. I just love doing that. I love having all the buttons. All the buttons is so much fun. Everyone is in studio today. No Cardboard Ray, no Byron call in. Ian even graced us with his presence by waking up at a good hour of 2:30. And we're all here, and we have audience questions. We have
Technology
news about other news about other news. Everybody say hey.
Hello.
Hello.
My little friends.
Hello.
So, before we start, I noticed some of the questions came from somebody with the word NUTS in the name. Are we allowed to say that or not?
Yeah, we can. It's just apparently we pissed somebody off, and then our show was labeled explicit instead of normal. But I don't know if it gets labeled explicit, if that just gives us a byword to say dirty things. But
we got reported.
We got reported as explicit, but no, we didn't get flagged, meaning the episode's so long. In fact, I got a lot of calls about the episode that they loved it. In fact, Josh Rucker was one of those. He actually wants to come on the show. So Josh is like my mentor as far as automation and programming and things like that. He's an absolute
I thought that was me.
awesome. Well, no, yeah, you're IT mentor. I'm just mental, so that's the thing. But no, Josh.
Yeah, you are.
Josh, when listening to the last episode around around D's nuts, or I guess he.
Us three
these
are
are
just your Mentos.
These are those.
I guess he listened to him around his nuts, but anyway,
You guys are all nuts.
we're all nuts, and there's at least
As
four
long as they're not on
sets
your
of
chest,
those.
it's all
Yeah,
right.
no, so no, he listened to it. He's like, dude, I'm about to drive off the road. He goes, he's like, it's killing me. I'm laughing so hard. Jeannie and Lyle, they loved it. They just thought it was they said they were listening to it on the back porch as we started ripping into the bag, I guess. And they were doing all the things. Yeah. So it's just, I'm in rare form today. Ian and I got some really, horrible news that one of our friends passed away today or yesterday. It was last night. Actually, I did talk to his lovely other half, and she's doing good. It's just, it was expected but not expected, I guess is what you could say. So
I've been there. It's like, you know it's going to happen, but when it happens, it's like you didn't think it was ever going to happen.
right. Yeah, no, I think that's
So
where
I know
it's at.
I know how she's feeling. I know exactly how she's feeling.
Right. Yeah, and they were such a lovely couple, and was such a
gentleman.
A gentleman, an amazing person. I don't think they've been clients of ours for, good grief, a decade now,
or at least.
And over a decade, and just they were more family than friends, and they got to know all the techs that came into the house, and remembered specific things about each one of them, where they asked about their kids, or they remembered that their daughter did such and such and so, and asked about their daughter, and they would both individually remember those things, and call everybody by name, and yeah. So shout out to the Garner family on that, and we're just. Again, I'm trying to hold my composure, because he was a very important person to me throughout my career, and one of our first meetings in that, I was in a horrible car accident, and I was in mid designing his project, and he had asked my assistant at the time if he could get my cell phone number, and my assistant gave him my cell phone number. And he called me out of the blue, and I could literally hear bats cracking in the background, like he was on the baseball field. And he had said, he goes, "Justin?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "Phil Garner." And I was like, "Hey, how's it going, Mr. Garner?" He's like, "I hear you're under the weather." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry." He was like, "No, I don't care about anything. I just wanted to make sure you were okay." I had known this guy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the type of person he was, and just he never met a stranger. He was larger than life, but you would never know it. And if you're a Houston Astro fan, then a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, you'll know. But he was that type of person through my entire meeting. I never had to knock on the door. I always, half the time was fixing the doorbell. So, he was just a very special person to me. And it was just kind of news, far left field news that I wasn't expecting. But again, I think Ian said it the best. So, but moving into it, Ray's here today, so I did not fire him. So if everybody could stop with the hate mail, I didn't hurt his will feelings, and
his paycheck did get cut.
His paycheck did.
I didn't get that bonus.
Yeah, he didn't get a bonus. He didn't get a stolen amplifier.
But
like
apparently, I
Byron
don't have
got a
feelings to hurt, according to some people here in the studio.
You got 100% bonus. What are you talking about?
Well, that's true.
Are you wearing pink socks?
I am wearing pink socks. Don't make fun of my socks, man.
All right, no. I mean, if you want to Don Johnson your socks, man, go for it.
Real men wear pink socks.
Hey. If he has an alter ego, let him be.
So, a lot of fun news. I'm going to go around and let's lighten this up a little bit. I have to lighten it up just because I'm still kind of in a spin cycle on this right now. But I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask one question because I want to know how this affects you. So I'm going to start with Ian. Ian, I have a question for you.
Yep.
2,986 followers and listeners. How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I feel that not enough of them are listening and signing up to Facebook.
That doesn't surprise me
It
at all.
doesn't correlate the number of people that are following it on Facebook, and we could potentially be putting stuff on there which may supplement what we're doing on here, but and through the week. And now that you've given me access to the Facebook, I can do stuff like that.
True.
I've even got a spare T-shirt, and I'm thinking of a way of making it a Facebook competition.
It's not how I thought you were going to answer the question, but okay.
But if you do, don't call it a raffle.
So
Anyway.
somebody pointed it out to me. It was actually Jarvis, and he's going to be our videographer, marketing guru person who's doing all the things video wise. He's doing it for Here and Then Motive, but he had said, I had mentioned that to him, and he goes, "Dude, only people that are 80 use Facebook. Everybody uses Instagram."
What was it?
And TikTok.
Who said
And-
that Facebook is the new MySpace?
Yeah, I don't know.
I said
Ian?
that.
Yeah. No, so I don't think there's a direct.
I don't really use Facebook either, and I'm heading towards that, whatever you call it, 80 mark.
Yeah, well, that's true. So, all right.
Long way yet, but
So I'm gonna go to Ray. Hopefully, we'll see if it's a different answer. Ray, 2,900 listeners, new co-host. You were a fan of the season one. Listened to it in season one. How does that ring with you?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you got rid of all the dinks and doinks that was on the first
Season one.
the first one that you sent me.
Right.
I was like, I mean, yeah, I'll let you know, right? I was like, hey, you could do less with the sound effects on that, so that was good.
Right.
It
he
doesn't
didn't
affect
like our fart gun.
It didn't affect me.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me.
It's a number.
My wife thinks I talk too much anyway, so this is probably the best time to use my voice.
My vocabulary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's very short, not extensive as I think it is.
Okay, Byron, how do you feel about that?
I'm thrilled that they got
Somebody's thrilled. Jesus, thank you.
Well, he has less people than that listening to him in the classroom.
Yeah, I'm
Oh yes, hold on, wait.
We
Yes, I'm thrilled.
We got the
I'm thrilled.
Debbie
I'm
Downer.
excited.
We got the Debbie Downer side of the room over there, and it's just like, well, I'm speculating because nobody's on Facebook, and then we got the other one who's like, well, it doesn't affect me at all, but
Well, you asked how it affects me.
No, I just
Doesn't
how do you
affect
feel?
me.
No, how do you feel about it? You know, how does it make
yeah,
you
it's
feel?
great. Yeah, I like being part of something that
To go
that-
from
that's
200
fun.
listeners to almost 3,000 people, that's like.
I'm stealing Byron's
And we
thunder.
cracked Australia.
I'm
And
stealing
I
Byron's
think
thunder.
Ian was more fun about cracking Australia open than that came out so wrong than anything else. Okay, Byron, how do you feel? Sorry, Ray was right. I stole your steam there.
Nah, I'm thrilled that many people find value in stuff that we talk about. That, you know, is just pretty much like everyday conversation for us. You know, and we don't have no scripts. We just sit down and just talk about topics.
Yeah.
Babble.
Okay, so
Babble.
it's a number.
The political collect rate.
So I'm
Try
gonna.
not to be.
So 3,000-ish it's a number, but where does it put us? I mean, where does it rank us with other similar themed?
So here's what I'll tell you how it ranks. When we started this show, it was an iPhone sitting on a desk. You know, it was. Screw it, I'll say it. Tony and I were sitting around, started it, you know, he and I were talking about it. I was like, man, we need to do a podcast. I had several reasons behind it. You know, I was working on it with a few other folks. And then finally, one day, probably substance influenced, we hit record on a phone. And that's kind of what we did. We hit record on a phone and we just started talking. And I was like, man, this is easy. And we had, you know, a few listeners. And I was just like, okay, it's like talking to like 3 or 4 people. And then it goes from 3 or 4 people to 200 people. Then it goes from 200 people to 500 people and 500 people to 1,000 people. And then had it not been, and then I think he and I maxed out right around 2,000 followers, 2,000 listeners, and parted ways. He kind of went and did his own thing or doing his own thing. Don't know what he's up to now. And it took Ian with a cattle prod to get me to start season 2 again, you know, and I had reservations about season 2. I was going through some stuff and then trying to focus on it, and I was just like, man, I don't know even where to approach season 2. And then started talking to Ray about it. I knew Ray wanted to come on season 1. He just had this nutball schedule, and then season 1 was nuts. I mean, we were doing 3 episodes a week. You know, we were going through. I mean, that was insane because there's not enough stuff to talk about at 3 episodes a week.
There's never enough stuff for you to talk about.
Yeah, you know, it just the thing.
I think like, you know,
It's just interesting.
overall.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the first time that when we were sitting in, I don't even remember which room we were sitting
I just
in.
hit record and I
We hit
said
record.
go.
We were just sitting there talking, and it was about an hour long. It was great.
Because you were nervous about it. Yeah, you
At
were.
first I was, and then
yeah.
we just started talking about whatever.
Right.
Now it's just kind of like, I mean,
Yeah.
talking, that is. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, but if all 4 of us were sitting on a stage, there's 3,000 people in front of us. How would you feel?
That's a different ball game.
Yeah.
Really? Because that's the same thing.
No, because
But we're
I don't-
talking the 4 of us. It's just the 4 of us. Yes, we're recording it, so people are going to listen to it. But
Right.
if you're sitting on a stage, it's a different ball game because you've got 3,000 people that you're looking at. You have to project and talk to them as much as you're talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as being at an open board meeting, I could tell you that. If you are sitting with your peers discussing things without an audience, it's different to sitting with those same people discussing something in front of a crowd.
Yeah, I got to agree with that because we. I hope you're not recording over our.
I'm not. It's already finalized. I disagree. I just
well,
wanted.
no,
I just wanted to say I disagree.
I'm just saying because it's like, you know, as somebody who played in bands,
Which I
it
did.
was different. Well, for me, it was different because during rehearsals, I'm fine. You know, I feel comfortable. But you know, when you go and you're playing a show somewhere, you tend to get a little bit more nervous because, you know, it's easier to mess up when you're practicing than it is to mess up when you're playing live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah. No, I know exactly what.
when it comes to like talking in front of people, I mean, I've always had that I couldn't do it. But then I think, being, in the industry that I am, and that we have to constantly talk, and I think that kind of helped. But to do it in front of a lot of people, I can't honestly ask how I would feel doing that.
I'm getting more comfortable with doing this, even though I know we don't do any post-production. I know we can, if we needed to, we could edit and we could take stuff out. But
It's just exhausting.
yeah,
But what happens? Well, what happens one day if we have to, like, say,
Edit these nuts.
instead of doing it just on a voice standpoint, they have to hang a camera and go live.
I'll be okay with that. Whatever. If people want to see my ugly mug, that's fine.
Yeah, there's
we could do
definitely
our own version of The Masked Singer, and they have to guess who is who.
there's a well no yeah I always introduce Ian as Byron anyway, but nobody believes me, so it's fine.
I don't know. I think it'll be fun. We should try it.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, and there's a prelude to that. I was actually talking to Josh about that over the weekend. He called out of the blue just to say, "Man, I love the new format and everything else." So yeah, it's just interesting. I guess let's just go right into the questions, huh? Just kind of jump into it, and then all right. So one question was somewhere around the corner. What are your thoughts between outdoor TVs versus putting in an indoor TV outside? And this question was from Twisted Ninja.
My thought is, freaking TVs are so freaking cheap. Why spend extra money on an outdoor TV? Just put a cheap TV outside, and then when it crashes, go buy you another one. Because you get a 32-inch for $98
Who's gonna watch a 32-inch TV
outside.
Yeah.
Well, okay, 44-inch, what, $300?
Hey, do you remember when 36?
I remember that was a
Like,
big size.
That was
Yeah.
like, wow. That's exciting.
Because, I mean, a decent outdoor TV costs you in the uppers $1,500, $2,000. And then the hassle, if you buy a case to put a regular TV in a case, the case is about $500-$600.
Cases are freaking waste. Here's what I'll say.
Don't put a projector up outside.
I've done that too. It's dear God. Yeah. No. Here's what I'll say.
Waterproof.
There are advantages. There are advantages to outdoor TVs. One is brightness. They're 4 times brighter than a standard cheap TV. Cheap TVs are lower brightness, and if you're in an area with direct sunlight, then a cheaper TV is probably not going to bode well for you. So there's 2 ways to approach this. One, there are cost-effective outdoor TV options like Neptune. Neptune makes a really good one. They're made by Peerless. That is about half the cost of a normal outdoor television like a Samsung Terrace or something like that. There are advantages to having the more expensive outdoor televisions if you're in direct sunlight or if you're on a partially covered patio where you can't cover the TV and things like that. So, I mean, there are advantages to them. You can spray them off with a water hose because they just get dingy. They get bugs and stuff are attracted to them. You can do it that way. Or the other way is pick the oldest TV in the house, put it outside, buy a new TV for in the house if you're not going to do an outdoor TV. Because it's like I never advised for people to spend money to put good money outside unless because you're going to have to get a brighter television. The brighter television puts you in the higher price point. Otherwise, if it's not bright enough, you can't see it in the daytime. So that's just so I would say it depends on budget.
It also depends on climate. I mean, we're in a very specific climate here. I mean, if you go through that process of putting a new one outside every time, if it's an indoor one that you're putting outside, you're probably going to do that 6 times a year here in Texas.
Right. Or if you're close to a body of water, like saltwater lake, things like that, it's going to oxidize and stuff. Outdoor TVs aren't susceptible to that.
Just watch your iPad.
Or just watch your iPad like Ian. So Twisted Ninja, I would say if it's in the budget, you'll never regret an outdoor TV. They have longer warranties. I would also advise getting an extended warranty on your outdoor TV, and extended warranties typically start when the 3-year warranty or 2-year warranty run out on an outdoor item. That's the other thing, is a warranty on an indoor TV is only a year. A warranty on an outdoor TV is 3 to 5 years, I believe, depending on the manufacturer. So,
what about other technologies like these video walls? I mean, they're still susceptible to the same
F my life when it comes to those things. Yes, no. So you're talking about the micro LED stuff?
Well, anything
Great
that's
question.
Just like a direct. Well, you're talking about more like.
No, he's talking about the
direct
buildable
view
one,
LED.
right?
well, whatever type, any type that's not what you might just call a regular TV.
Yes, they make an outdoor variation of that. They're still not on what I call the affordable scale. They're still about like buying a Hyundai or a Honda. You know, they're in the $20,000+ range for an outdoor variation of that. But you could do that and go as big as you want.
It's still going to be susceptible to, especially in where we are. It's going to, the temperatures we get to in the summer and the humidity. It's like.
Believe it or not, it's not the temperature or the humidity that does it. It's the bugs. The bugs do it. It's because they crawl into the circuits of the TV through the ventilation system. And that's why the outdoor TVs are different, because they have fan-cooled systems that keep the circuitry cool, but it's a different compartment. It has a channel to where bugs can't get inside of it. And it has a sealed enclosure that keeps all of your HDMI and your Cat5 connections. Some people have good luck. Some people put indoor TVs outside. They last 2 to 3 years and until they finally die a grisly death, and then they just do something else. So,
Can you put a TV wall in the bottom of my pool? So when I'm swimming, I can watch TV on the bottom of the pool at the same time.
You mean when you're face down in the pool?
I'm not even going to entertain that question. Are you going to use a snorkel or
No, even when you're walking, you can walk and looking down at the pool, and you can watch TV while you're watching.
that?
I'm sure somebody's gonna come up with something like that where it's not really like.
Quick, go patent
This
in.
question hurts my head.
We gotta get a
That
patent quick.
answer-
Yeah, patent in quick.
Pool wall.
All right, we need some D's nuts questions to live it. Yeah, no.
These
okay.
are those.
So Tim Foyle, Tim wrote us a book here. This is probably going to be toward the other side of the room, or the split side of the room. And we'll just read the questions off here. In your opinion, is AI going to replace jobs? If so, what markets would you be marked at? What markets would you be marked safe in your opinion?
Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Okay, go for it.
So no, I don't think AI is going to replace jobs.
Okay.
It's going to replace some jobs. I mean, it already has in the form of robotics in factories.
Yeah, but you still
Those was already there.
you still have you still have to have somebody who's going to manufacture that stuff. I mean, robots making robots are like, is that a thing? But
Robots make automobiles.
yeah, but who makes
But first of all, who programs the
who
robots?
programs them?
True.
AI can't
I don't.
think.
Yeah, I don't think AI can program. Like, can you? I mean, you can tell. You could go in there and you could say, hey, write me a code for this, and then it'll write a code. But then you try to go into Codex, and then it just doesn't translate. So you still have to go in and do everything. I think they're kind of far away from doing that. You're still going to need programmers, coders. You're still going to need those people to design the the element of the equipment, and then go from there. AI can't build a physical building. AI can't do this.
I look
AI
at it
can
like
do that.
this. AI doesn't eliminate jobs. It takes the people in those jobs and train them to do a different job.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
AI can't think. So you have to take those people who's used to doing things one way and teach them to do things another way based on the technology that's at hand.
I think if you're a graphical artist, I think if you're one of those people that creates logos, I think those types of jobs will be affected in a way, in a sense. But, as Byron just said, and I wholeheartedly agree, they're just going to have to find a different
No, I mean
pathway to be relevant.
I think graphic artists can use AI to their advantage. Now I'm gonna throw you an example here. So I have an eBay store that I use for my sports cards and things like that. And I had to create a logo. I by in no means am artistic enough to draw.
Right.
But I can come up with ideas, right? So I used Gemini to create my logo, right? One, because
That's the Google thing, right?
that is a Google thing.
Okay.
All right. So I use it to create my logo, but I had to input exactly what I wanted into it. Now, did it get it right? No. So I had to keep telling it, change this, do this. This is how I want it done. Could I have gone to somebody who does that? I could have, but I didn't want to, just for the simple fact that they, in my area, is something that I just couldn't afford. So I had to create the stuff on my own.
Right.
I wasn't taking a graphic artist's job away. I was learning how to use a particular program to my advantage, to where, because I couldn't afford
Right.
to go to a graphic artist. So, but I'm still sitting there telling it what I want until I get it right. And so once it gets it right, then it's good to go. Yeah. But you still need the human element in AI regardless of what you're looking at.
Because it doesn't think.
I love that you said, yeah. No, it doesn't think.
It takes variables. It takes the variables. It's the algorithms, which has variables, and it takes those variables and it'll put them in the algorithm, and it does things, but it's pre-programmed. Now, as life goes on and technology changes, then those variables change, because we have new variables now that we're going to put in different algorithms to make it more and more. Think about when Siri first started, the very first version of Siri. We can even go further back than that. You remember when OnStar first was introduced in vehicles?
I do.
And they had and your vehicle was assigned a telephone number. Mm-hmm. And so you would say, OnStar, call this number 504 blah blah blah, and she was like, four. It didn't take in the concept of dialects. Most people from the South Louisiana do not say four; they say four. So it was like 504. I don't understand. 504. I don't understand. Then you had to start talking in your proper bill collector voice. Please call 504-331-1212.
Jason and I had this mutual friend.
Are you doxing somebody?
No. Jason and I had this mutual friend that he had a massive alcohol problem. I mean, massive alcohol problem. And he would get just hammered, absolutely hammered, drunk. And he would go into his he'd go to his Suburban. He has Suburban. Is it Suburban or Tahoe? One of the two. And that was the Chevrolet thing, is they had the OnStar built in, right? And so he would get so hammered, he would sleep it off in the parking lot. And so while he was in mid-process, he would get bored. And he would hit on the OnStar lady. He hits the OnStar button. He starts talking he just starts randomly hitting on the OnStar lady, the poor lady that's working on the phone. But yeah, no. And so when you said OnStar and somebody dialed it just made
brought back memories.
That was the first version.
I mean, he was a rare breed. He still is, but he never grew up.
Justin, what name we gave the AI the other day? Ain't Intelligent?
Ain't Intelligent. Yeah, there you go. So, okay. I think we did that. Machine or automation. Okay. Can AI be trusted with personal data? I would say it's not a thing that can be trusted or not trusted, because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's just so. I mean, does anybody disagree with that?
You don't trust nothing with personal data if you can help it.
It's not about trusting AI with it. It's about trusting the people that own AI and own the cloud servers, that they're going to keep your data safe and not use it even by themselves.
No, I would put it in VPN territory. The guys who created Viper VPN, most of the guys that created VPNs were creating them for a reason. Yeah, it's like, are you going to give them your credit card information for a lifetime membership? It's the same type of.
The thing is that anything can be breached. I mean, you've had a couple of years back when Sony PlayStation Store got, breached, and
Roku. Yeah.
So it between AI or whatever, I mean, I don't think it really matters. If it's safe, it's safe. If it's not, it's not. But That's all going to depend on, like Ian said, it's going to depend on
I agree,
on them.
1000%.
So that's, like I said, I don't really think once you let the data out of your possession, or it's copied to a location out of your possession, then it's not safe anyway. Because it's a trust issue, and I have those with whoa.
That was a
Somebody's in agreement.
Sorry, sir.
that was a thunder issue when I was being sarcastic. All right, fine. I'll lay off him. Dear Lord.
You missed a question out.
Yeah. No. Well, it was. I think Ray just kind of answered it. Unless you want to go into that one.
The difference between AI, machine learning, and automation was something you put in there.
I didn't. Yeah, that was just a question. Yeah, that was another question on it. Unless you want to tackle that one.
Well, I look at it. The only variable out of the three that's different, stands on its own, is machine learning. Because automation is programmable. You got to program automation to make it work. AI, you got to program with variables and algorithms to make it work. Where machine learning, it looks at the variables and that you give it, and it adjusts based on those variables' conditions. So that's the only one that's different out of the three.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No, I just
Okay. Yeah. No. I have a rebuttal on some of that, but it's just going to be an agreement and beating the horse to death that we've already put poop in. Or trying to put poop back in. Let's see. Can AI be chosen president? Okay. AI, is it making us smarter or lazier? Okay. I love this question.
Lazier.
Yeah.
I love this question.
AI is not going to make anybody smarter.
No.
In fact, it's going to make you less smart.
Right. Well, it's going to make you
intelligent.
It's going to make you appear to be. It may give you the appearance of having an authority on a topic, but it doesn't mean that it's right.
Okay, so back again to my point of using AI to create a logo for my eBay store is I had to sit there and think on how I wanted to create something. So you can't just go and put in, do this, and then let it go, and then just let it do its thing. You still have to put in the work to make AI work the way you want it to.
Right.
Especially if you're using the free versions.
The way I perceive this question is people trying to look up information, and because it comes across the screen of AI, they treat it as gospel. They treat it as factual things without doing the research after the fact that it's a factual thing.
But don't they do that with anything?
Yeah. You can do that with anything.
I mean, you tell, if I tell Ian it's raining outside and he doesn't bother to look and just take what I say and it's not raining, that's,
Well, some people don't do it with anything. They see it on AI, so they take it as tablets of stone from Moses, though.
Again,
Yeah, because it's on AI.
I think it allows people to be more creative with things like the music, the video, but they just don't extend themselves to take what AI is giving them to make it their own.
No.
And just say, I created this, when in actual fact all they wrote was a prompt and it created it and they say they created it, but they didn't. I've used AI to generate some various things, but I've tweaked them afterwards. It's like, I like the idea of that one, not that one, if it gives you a choice, and then so take whatever one it is you like and then tweak it. Make it your own and edit it to suit what it was. It's, I've used it to give me a ground zero starting point, and then work up from there. If you're an author and you're stuck for a plot for a book, sure, ask AI for a plot and then run with it and write the book yourself. Don't let AI write the book and claim you wrote it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it all makes sense. So here's what I would say, Tim. A lot of the AI stuff, I don't know if maybe you haven't listened to a lot of the episodes. I would say if you listen to episodes, I would think Ian, 1, 2, and 3, I think, is when we
This season.
this season 2, 1, 2, and 3, and we did a deep dive on artificial intelligence as we kind of go.
I would think we could re-listen to it ourselves and actually do a rerun on it.
Yeah, no, because there's a lot of stuff on it. And then convenience versus privacy, have we already lost? Yes, I would say yes on that one. You again, I'm gonna go back in and say you can't put shit back in the horse. Once it's already plopped on the pavement. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be really messy. And please wear gloves. Doing that. Here's the thing. Anytime you buy a new television, anytime you buy a new computer, anytime you buy a new phone, anytime you buy a new anything, it's going to ask you to input your data. Your data is out there, regardless of, unless you have a flip phone and you live under a rock, your data's there. It's already out there. It's people have your email, they have your phone number, they have your thing. And then the more you do automation things and tie these accounts into your, and I'm going to draw out a scenario that a lot of you haven't thought about yet in regard to home automation. But if you think about it, and I started noticing iPhones doing this just the other day, is I get in my car, start my car, it's Wednesday morning, I get a pop-up. Hey, it's a 15-minute drive to Serenity Sips, which is a coffee shop that I go to in the morning. Except Mondays, because they're closed on Mondays, and that's rude. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you register an account with a garage door opener, a door lock, lighting, cameras, all of those things, they know when you leave, they know what you're buying, they know where you're going, because it's geofencing you, no matter what. So your privacy doesn't exist in this digital world. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And yes, you can protect yourself and use things like LifeLock and things like that to keep you financially protected. But as far as your personal information, one, I'm just going to vouch and say I could care less about my personal information. I really could. It doesn't bother me. And the reason why is because it doesn't matter. I'm not doing anything wrong. And when you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. So my thing is, if the government got your information, then your information not safe, because they have the most weakest security around than anybody. So the only part of the government that got good security is NASA.
Yeah, no, I think we're way past the whole trying to keep your personal information safe thing. Again, anytime you've logged into anything, there's a marker out there somewhere that can be scraped on a database somewhere. So yeah, I would say you've already lost. It's just like there's no way to undo that unless you go change your email. And you can go change your emails and change this and change that, but you have to not use an iPhone and not use an Android, and not use the internet, and not swipe your phone at a coffee shop to use a coupon or whatever.
Alexa, Siri,
right.
None of those.
Yeah, I mean, go back to paying in cash. And by the way, good luck, because nobody takes cash anymore. So it's just, yeah, no. So I think on that one you've already lost. So
interesting. Quick point you said about changing your email. Did you see Gmail have given people the option to change their email address up to once per year now?
Yeah.
No.
So what they did is they like before you had a username says BYKW whatever. They changed it to you could change it to whatever friendly name you want now. More friendly names that you recognize.
Like Tim Foyle, the D's nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what the option.
I'm a
gave.
child.
So, but does you're just changing the name, but how does that integrate with
Foyle these nuts?
your previous email name?
Your previous email will still work in terms of people sending you emails to that old address, but if you've got joesmith@gmail.com or whatever it was, you might say, well, I don't want to be Joe Smith at Gmail. I want to be
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith, yeah. And so you can change it to that if it's available, obviously.
I saw what you did there, Ray. That was not nice.
So it's forward. It's a forward.
What did I do?
Joseph
But
Smith.
you know the funny thing about it though?
You gonna write a book now, Book of Mormon, or
I saw gold plates, but no, I'm just saying, like, no, I mean,
it's a forwarding thing. So it takes the old email and
Yeah.
it forwards.
So anyway,
all
that was
email to
just
the new.
a quick throw in that you can change your email address if you're at
But
Gmail.
the funny part about it is, one of the biggest security flaws is when you forward email. So like people, the schools and like a lot of schools, they use Microsoft 365 for email or whatever. They disabling forwarding email from schools to personal emails because they say it's a security flaw.
Yeah, I agree.
And so Google is doing the same thing in house. So what's different? What is security?
It's not.
The security flaw didn't go away.
You just got to pick which devil you want to latch yourself to. Is what it is. You know. Smart homes, luxury, or surveillance system. I'm not. I see where he's going there because he's kind of going from the privacy question right into the luxury or surveillance system. Again, you know, this doesn't resonate with me, and I'm sorry, Tim. It's not an insult to you. It just doesn't resonate with me. Period. Because again, I'm not trying to hide anything. You know, it's like it may bother. Yes, if you're old school, it may bother you that there's a tech company out there that knows when you open and close your garage doors, when you arm and disarm your security, when you unlock and lock your door. To a thief, that would be important information.
You can build home automation that can be some level of smart without it actually being on the interweb.
Right, and that's where there's actually a brand out there called Josh AI that does that very much so. Josh AI is not tied into Mac or Apple or Google or any of these other. You do not have to have a registered portal. It is a private, all-inclusive thing, home automation thing. I think it's poorly named because people are terrified of AI at the moment. But then again, I don't think it's poorly named. I mean, it's just it is supposed to work, integrate with your smart home devices, and keep you anonymous. If you want to be anonymous, it's used in a lot of celebrity homes and things like that. It's called Josh, Josh, and then AI. So that might be something you're interested in. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ian. If you had another thought on that,
there are levels of being able to build home automation that do not go outside the boundaries of your home network. The only problem is if you then want to do the really fancy stuff like use Alexa or Siri to actually do it, you want voice control, then you are going outside your house. There's no question. It's going to the cloud and back again. But if you want to do home automation whereby you can set scenes and things with buttons, based on lights and dimmers, you can do all that without going outside your
you can
boundary.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just limited.
So you brought up Alexa, and that's a good point. So there are certain things. In fact, I think you ran across this, didn't you? I don't know. You have to tell me what the hell you talked about first. No, but one of those things was, for instance, if you needed to order cat food, dear God, Byron. No, if you needed to order cat food, and
you can't watch that sort of thing in here,
and you ordered. And you ordered it through Amazon Prime, and you talked to Alexa, you may or may not get a pop-up and said, because if there's a certain time where you order cat food off Amazon, you may or may not get a text message that says, hey, with a promotion on cat food, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like the wish list on Kaleidoscape. By the way, Byron and I have hacked that. If you put movies in your wish list and let them sit in your wish list, then you get discounts the longer they sit in your movies. But to me, it's no different than what Amazon's doing, or any of these other people.
Well, that's what they talk about, targeted advertising. I mean, Alexa, if you've got... I've got a house full of the damn stuff.
But is it creepy or convenient,
It's not creepy,
Ian?
and it's neither creepy nor convenient because I ignore it when it comes up and says... Like my printer got added as a device to my Echo... to my Eero setup.
Right.
And then I get a message from Alexa at some point down the road that says, your printer is out of ink. Would you like to buy some more ink for your printer? Like, no. I'll go and buy ink when I want to buy ink. I don't need you to tell me. I know it's low in ink, but it's like, it's thinking it's helping.
Stop helping me. Yeah. No.
But does it come out like automatically? You don't even do anything. It just says, hey, Ian.
Yeah.
Printer
Yeah,
driving. You want some?
yeah, no, it
Does it?
will. Yeah,
I mean, I've got.
I don't use it anyways, but
I've got 2 screens. Well, one's semi in the kitchen. The other one, it's the 21-inch Echo Show thing, and every so often it'll pop up with something like that. 90% of the time, it's showing me photos from my photo feed. If I pay Amazon $2.99 a month, they'll make it into a digital photo frame and not show anything else. But that's just a way of cutting down on ads again.
yep.
But I don't look at it long enough. I mean, if I glance at it out the corner of my eye and I see a picture I like, it's like I'll look at it. But if I see an ad, it's just I ignore it. I mean, it doesn't use vocal stuff, which would really piss me off. So it's like it doesn't pop up and say, "Oh, hello, Ian. Did you know your printer's out of ink?" It's like,
Right.
yes, my middle finger's not out of ink.
Yeah, that's true. You know, did you know now you don't want to be helpful as if it knew when I was out of toilet paper and it was going to wheel me a roll or something. It's
Well, just one of the things you talk about, if your phone pops up, you go into the coffee shop. That's because you do it every day.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It remembers it.
And if it tells you that you're it's going to take you this long to get to a bar, you probably need a new habit.
When I first got CarPlay working back in 2016, it was really helpful because I had a calendar, I had jobs to go to from home entertainment,
Right.
they'd be in the calendar, and I'd get in the car and plug the phone in, and it would know that I was going to something,
Right.
and it would bring the map up of the location I was going to automatically. It doesn't do that anymore. I don't know why.
I think it gives you the option because, like, when I travel, I can get in, like, Maps knows, right, like that I have a flight scheduled for a particular time, and like, okay, well, it's going to take you 20 minutes to get to the airport from here, and then it'll pop up a little banner, and then if I click on the banner, then it automatically.
Yeah. No, it was like automatically, as soon as I got in the car, plugged the phone in, the come up on the display with the map, and it would show me the location. It knew where I was going. It didn't ask me, do you need directions?
See, mine does that when I open the garage door. As soon as I open the garage door, within 30 seconds, I get a Apple Maps notification of it's going to take 14 minutes to get to Serenity Sips. It's just,
you do it every day.
That's true. Except for Mondays.
Right. And it remembers it. Like when I get out of my garage, Sunday
sounds
morning,
like
it takes you 30 minutes to get to Lily Grove Missionary Baptist Church.
They're not brown coats over there, are they?
Who?
Serenity Sips.
Brown coats. What is brown coats?
Firefly.
Oh, no. No, they're not. No. It's a cool place. So
Wonder, does it look like a spaceship when you go in?
They've got a lot of cool tech in there though, like health tech and stuff. It's a really interesting place.
I
And
hope it wasn't made by, what were they called, Stryker?
no, it's not. Okay, so how do you think this affects? Oh dear God, this is a heavy question. The up and coming generations.
Makes them lazy.
Okay, there's one perspective.
Well, you see them on a regular basis.
Right.
You get them come into class, and it's like they're probably glued to their phones when they walk in. They're probably glued to them when they walk out.
And the reason I say they make them lazy because they write papers. This is an honors class. They write papers just like they text, removing all the vowels. And I give them a big consonant, a F,
Yeah.
in red. You cannot be on an academic college level class writing 5th grade papers.
Jeez.
That's totally unacceptable. And then when you
Well, it's bad enough the ones that don't use periods or capital letters.
Then when you talk to them about it, you realize why they wrote it like that, because they have no friggin' clue. It's like, it's just like, I don't understand. I just can't nail it. It's just totally way out there to me.
So, Ray, you got anything on that one?
No, I don't know. I'm kind of, I agree with Byron, but I'm also thinking that if it could make it better, depending on the person.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
I think the
perspective,
human
but-
race, a lot of them a lot of us are inherently lazy, and anything that makes our life easier will make us lazier.
Well, that's why they came up with the term, right? Work smarter, not harder.
That's why DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these Walmart delivery services are prospering, because we lazy. We paying for convenience.
Yeah, but I ain't stupid. I ain't paying $30 for a Sonic hamburger. Just not doing it. Some people might do it,
Well,
but I ain't doing it.
Do you?
Now that is a tasty burger.
Yeah, now that is a tasty beverage. Do
they
you
got
mind
some-
if I wash this beverage down?
They got some people who never leave their house. They work from home,
True.
and everything surrounding their life comes to them. They goes to nothing.
So here's what I'll say on it. I know, shocker, I have a thought.
Well, you've got an up-and-coming generation. How are your kids coping with
I'll say this
technology?
respectfully. I'll say it respectfully. So if you get offended, go screw yourself.
Man,
Respectfully.
so hostile.
Respectfully.
Well, you could probably get AI to do that for you now.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you can. No, so here's what I'll say on this is a lot of people give Gen Z a lot of garbage. They give them a lot of crap. And then they give a lot of people do. And here's what I'll say. And there is not a generation, up and coming generation, that was born with technology like Gen Z. And I mean from birth.
Gen Z being
Gen Z being anybody that in the last 20 years or younger. You know, that's what I'm saying. The up and coming,
yeah.
or the kids that he's teaching, you know, things like that. This is they are the most technologically advanced generation that we've ever seen. Now, just hold on before you fire shoots in it. Before you fire arrows, just hang on, because I knew this was going to strike a nerve. This is what I'll say. The frustration point and catalyst for this up and coming generation is they've grew up with the easy button. They grew up with now artificial intelligence. They've grown up with the internet. They've grown up with all of these things. Whereas Ray and I's generation grew up. I mean, we didn't have internet until we were 20s. You know, or teens, young teens.
Not even that. I mean, I didn't start. You know, luckily, my older brother he's always been a tech savvy kind of guy. So,
Right.
So when it came to like internet and stuff like that, he would, you know, he had it. But
Right.
I didn't really do anything on the internet until maybe my mid-20s.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So-
And then let's fast forward. And then cell phones became a thing. Cell phones that got on the internet. I didn't have a cell phone that got on the internet until like late 20s, almost early 30s. And that's what I'm saying is just, but this generation is born with it. So having worked with the hair pulling experience of some of these young individuals, as far as programming, they're absolutely brilliant. You know, it's like, because they can do things in like 4 keystrokes that it would take my brain to think up or think outside of the box on. That because generations like, you know, that are programming based, like Byron, Ian, and myself, we were self-taught. We were taught because there was an interest there. We were taught because, an iPad, a touchscreen, that's cool. I want to learn how that's made. You know, the thing that's missing with Gen Z, in my opinion, is that they lack the survival skill and the I want to know how that's made thing that's in their brain, because they have a button for it. And if they can't find it on a button, then that's where they just kind of sit in the mud.
No,
You know?
I agree with you and I disagree with you, just for the simple fact that, like, just it's based more on, I guess, to your point, right? It's based more on individuals because, you know, my nephew, you know, we talk a lot about games or music or whatever, but he's a senior in high school now, and you know, when he wants to do something, he does want to learn it, but you know, if there's nothing that's there to teach him how, he's going to find a way to.
Well,
So
sure,
what
but
he'll
it's-
do
but
is he'll use YouTube, he'll use, you know.
So you learn how to
friends
play
or
the
whatever.
guitar, right?
Right.
Where did you learn?
I either through friends or
Right. Right.
you know.
These kids have
Yeah,
access to
amateur.
videos of
Car
Eddie
world.
Van Halen where they can find somebody on YouTube that plays almost as good as Eddie Van Halen, note for note, and then he'll slow it down note for note. That's what I'm saying. They have this that's where some of those survival skills are lacking. It doesn't mean that they're less of a person. It's just they learn differently.
And education
is really what it is.
Educational systems are helping them push that idea because they have AI policies, but they leave it up to the instructors to enforce the policies or not enforce the policies. So I don't allow the policies in my classroom at all. I want objective, creative thinking. I don't want you to pop something in an AI or a Microsoft Copilot and come up with something that's based on a topic.
Right. And I think that's you know, good, but there has to be a level of understanding when it comes to the kids these days, because regardless of what we say, you know, they're gonna find a way.
Oh, sure. Well, again, they were born with the easy button, you know, so I like to make the analogy of if you go look at our grandparents used a clothesline to dry their clothes. You know what I mean? Some of them used washboards, you know, and they remember those things. So they may have felt the same way when the washer and dryer came out or the microwave came
Right.
out. So you and I grew up in the microwave society. You know, microwave was the thing. We all grew up with Hot Pockets and these things, and you hit the magic 30-second button and it zapped your favorite treat, and it was hot and edible, which was kind of cool. And so, and I think Gen X has a little bit more of an understanding because they saw the birth of the internet. They saw it was slow as molasses. They now see gigabit, which is still gigabit internet is still mind-boggling. 5G is still mind-bogglingly fast. You know, Ian saw it with hard drive space. The fact that you can put 1 terabyte in your pocket and walk around with it. That was what, a room the size of this building back in the
Probably.
day.
It was in, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but so it's interesting. But this new up and coming generation is born with this type of thing.
But the technology has hampered them because they cannot think objectively.
There was a quote I saw on LinkedIn, and and I'm probably going to butcher it, but basically what it said was that the engineers who are afraid of AI are the ones who are not thinking outside the box, basically. And so or the engineers who are afraid of it, right? Like they fear it. They fear AI because they're going to lose a job, but it's not the engineers who are not afraid are the ones who are going to surpass it. Meaning that they're the ones, you know, they're not afraid of the technology, so they're going to be able to build upon that.
Well, they're not afraid of change.
So
Exactly.
And I'm gonna put this one because we're not gonna get to all these questions, but we will get to them at some point. But because this is a cool topic, I mean, it's an interesting topic. AI is everywhere. You know, it's at Expona right now. It's at the Hi-Fi show right now. You know, it's like everybody's talking about AI there. Everybody talking about AI and Cedia and all these things that are in and out of your life. Here's the thing. You know, we'll recap what the synopsis was on episode 1, 2, and 3, and there is no boogeyman. There's nothing to be afraid of with artificial intelligence. You know, I get Bernie Sanders has put out these videos, and it's all doom and gloom, and it's Terminator, James Cameron script type of things where it's taken over the world and it's going to hurt everybody. And it's a good video and it's food for thought, but I don't think it's something where it needs to be fear-mongered as much. Where it does need to be looked at. Now, here's the thing. It's called artificial intelligence, not autonomous intelligence. It's not autonomous. It can't think for itself. It needs data. It will do absolutely dick all without data. If you don't put your data in it, artificial intelligence does nothing. That's the thing. And that was Ray's point. Ray's point was you still have to use critical thinking to get the logo that you wanted.
You got to have the variables.
You got to have the variables. And it's the end user that creates the variables. If you don't like it, don't use it. But there's nothing to be afraid of. It's not Cyberdyne. It's not Terminator. There is no Arnold Schwarzenegger with a red eye that's coming out to kill John Connor. It's not that sort of thing. Now, AI in the hands of the wrong people absolutely could create havoc and do things. Does it amplify viruses and things like that can be written to penetrate subsystems and systems? Absolutely it does. For novices. But the people that to Ray's point that he just said so eloquently, that's the same thing as an engineer being afraid of it or embracing it. For people that know how to write those programs, it just makes them better in a way. If they can check their math. If they don't, and you need to check your math on artificial intelligence.
The math ain't mathing.
No, sometimes the math ain't mathing, and the data is not there. It is still a variable that's wrong more than 70% of the time. But so if you're doing basic equation or CNC equations and things, chances are it'll get you 98% there. But there is no boogeyman, and it's not going to hurt you. It can be used. It can be useful. I do think in the next year it'll be regulated heavily in some of these cases to keep some of the doom and gloom from happening if and when. But Tim, thank you for your questions. Great questions. We've damn near built the whole show off of it. So, and thank you for that, because we'll take all the questions we can get. So, moving on to Byron, you want to announce this next listener's name? So,
the one we got punished for?
This is a new version of the.
No, you've missed it. Audio Noob.
No, that's not. Audio Noob's not next. The no one after that is. Go ahead, Byron.
Cactus Nuts.
No, it's Foshizi D's Nuts is what it is, and I don't know if this is one nut family, or if there's just a family of nuts.
Oh yeah, Foshizi D's Nuts.
You see, he says it way better than I do.
Foshizi Mahizi D's Nuts.
Okay, so his first question is: premium technology a scam or worth it? I feel like we're gonna
objection, Your Honor.
We're gonna have fun with this one.
I think we're gonna
Well,
if I'm reading the same notes you sent me, tinfoil. After that, we've got 3 questions from somebody called Audio Noob. Before we get into the nutty ones,
the nut. Oh no, he's.
How
right.
about just take one question from each of that list?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. You know what? No, I love that idea. Ian, why don't you pick one out from Audio
the first
Noob
one is
and
premium tech a scam or worth it?
Okay, first of all, enlighten me. What is premium tech?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I was just going to enlighten you.
Okay.
In my experience, you have
Ian's gonna say no.
tech, and you have, they used to call it leading edge or cutting edge tech.
That means it breaks all the time.
No, that's now called bleeding edge.
Oh, okay, got it.
So it's a bit of a play on leading edge.
So Kevin, our former boss, used to.
I'd say premium tech is what you would call the bleeding edge stuff. Like, it's the next great processor that comes out.
The high dollar shit.
Tease nuts.
It's the like what, it's the untested, what the people with more money than sense are buying.
He said test.
At some point it gets better.
It's getting worse.
What?
Nothing.
At some point that level of tech gets better, but then that becomes just the leading edge stuff because they've just brought out another version of the iPhone.
So is it better or not?
Is what better than what?
Is premium tech a scam or is it worth it?
It's not a scam.
It's not a scam.
No, it appeals to early adopters who are willing to invest their money and time in being able to say, yeah, I've got the latest iPhone, but in also to be able to test it And
Byron, is a scam or no?
I don't think it's a scam. I think it is that you get what you pay for. So, not take that back. Not get what you pay for. What do you want? You know, if you want to be the first one with all the latest, greatest technology, like you the first person in line for the latest, greatest iPhone, the first person in line for this or that, then premium technology is for you. But
you have to be a premium buyer as well.
exactly, you got to have premium pockets.
Yeah. Like the iPhone
Like Ray
Fold or whatever it's going to be called that's coming out.
Gotta
later.
have deep pockets.
You know, they're talking about a $2,000 phone.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say, I got one of the first iPhone phones. Well, a year after that, everybody's going to have one,
Well,
and they won't cost $2,000.
But me and Justin had a discussion, and I enlightened him. People don't shop when they buy phones and big purchases. They don't shop price. They shop monthly payments. So, if the monthly payments is affordable,
Byron shops monthly
they
payment.
care less. Well, to prove
No, it's true.
To prove my
No, he
point,
doesn't.
Everybody would be a homeowner if they could afford the down payment.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes these little companies like Affirm and Calera and all these people prospering now, is because they'll pay for it and give you a low monthly payment for 24 months at 29% interest, and you're like paying $30 a month to get what, a $3,000 PC
A
equipment.
new
or whatever.
version of like Rent a Center.
Exactly.
But-
they don't come confiscate. They don't come repossess.
Yeah, no, they
No, they go out of business.
But those, so a lot of those things, a lot of those businesses were created, not to get off the topic, but they were created to help the people who couldn't, and they don't. I can speak on this, but they.
Can you know?
I can, but they don't charge, like they a lot of these things are interest free.
Do tell.
And so it does help somebody who might want something from, a high end store to be able to do it if that's what they accept. But again, everybody's going to have interest regardless of how you do it.
But some of the richest people in the world will say the way you stay rich is that you don't use their money, you use someone else's money.
Yeah.
You leave your money there making money.
Yeah, I could think of 20 people right now that's doing that. But and it's true. It actually is true
But
that
to Justin's point that we made yesterday, people a nickel and a $10 and $20 they self into the poorhouse. So in other words, like you saying, they're making it easy for people to get stuff, but at $20 and $30 a month, okay, but you start getting 10, 20, 50, and $20 of those $30 a month. Next thing you know, you got a big $300, $400, $500 monthly bill.
But that's not, and by all no means, I'm not trying to blame people, but that's on the person's ability to rationalize their
Finances.
debt to income ratio, whatever it is. So, that's going to be on that person.
Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
So,
Yeah. But again,
anyways, to get back to the point of,
see if Justin has finance, and
Premium tech
I'll
is
be
not a
always
scam.
indebted.
I don't think it's a scam.
No, I don't think it's a scam either. I have rules for it, but I don't think it's just one rule for it. But it's not a scam. But
Justin,
the rule goes into the last question, so I'll just wait. So, why do some systems cost 50,000 plus? I don't know why we locked onto the 50,000 mark plus, but they just do. I don't know. Again,
are we talking
I don't know.
AV systems?
You're looking at the same question I am.
I'm assuming he's talking about the home theater. But again, that goes back to the question that me and Ray just got through talking about.
So
You can afford whatever. You can build a system on what you can afford. It ain't got 50,000. It don't have to be. You can build cheap systems like theaters with Sonos, right? Justin?
well, oh God. So I'll answer this as just based on your name, Audio New. I'm assuming you're trying to test the water and trying to figure out the barometer of what makes a good system, what doesn't make a good system. So what I would do is I would suggest listening to last episode where we covered home theater rules. Listen lots, talk small, stay out of forums, but do what's good enough for you and your wallet. I'm not judging you. Ray is totally judging you.
Not yet. I'm about to go into this.
No, Ray's not. Ray's totally judging you. Byron, no. What I'll say is, stick with advice from people that want to. You got to figure out what you're trying to do. You got to figure out what your goals are. Yeah, there are systems that cost $500,000. There's systems that cost millions of dollars. There are systems that it just depends on what you're talking about as a system. We'd love to actually chat with you in person, or if you feel free to, want to call in or schedule an appointment to call in, feel free to do that, because there's a lot to this question. There's a lot to unpack here. But what I'll say is, when I first started home entertainment, it was the rule to 10,000. It was, the $10,000 system was pretty much where is where most people wanted to be. But in this day and age, it's getting harder and harder to do the $10,000 system. It really is, and it's because
piece of equipment could cost you $10,000.
Well, it's it's the cost of equipment, it's the cost of manufacturing, it's It just goes on and on and on and on. So, are things that are 50,000 plus worth it? Absolutely, they are. They are. It's just they're going to perform better. I'm not saying that you can't get good performance at a price bracket below that. But what I'm saying is, yeah, there are systems that are absolutely worth it, but it's only worth what you want to pay for it. It just depends on how you want to cross the bridge and how you want to get there. But I mean, I've listened to $10,000 systems with good room acoustics that'll blow away $500,000 system. And then I've listened to $500,000 systems that literally part my hair and blow my mind, and it's the best thing I've ever heard. And then I've heard systems that are a quarter of that do the same thing. So it's really about it's the fun thing about audio and the fun thing about technology is it's subjective. It's subjective to the person that wants to swipe their credit card. It's subjective to the experience that you want to get. It's subjective to numerous things on that front. But it just depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. Ask Byron when he watched Maverick. So,
hey, if Justin had a payment plan, I'd probably be forever in debt.
Or I would be forever.
He's gonna have you come clean the storage room every week.
I'll be in the parking lot scrubbing the painting the parking lines over.
Scrub it, paint it, repaint it, scrub it.
Ray, did you have a thought on that one?
Yeah, I don't.
I disagree with everything you just said.
No, I don't disagree. I just disagree with I don't think high end equipment needs to be that expensive. I don't care what people think or what people say when it comes to it's the type of stuff that they use, it's the type of this, it's the type of that. I mean, if Macintosh wants to create a $15,000, bookshelf speaker, that's fine. That's on them. They could do whatever they want. I don't care. I wouldn't buy it even if I had the money. And that's because I think that, there's stuff out there that's just as good or even better and cheaper. A lot cheaper.
I got a center channel I'll sell you.
Again, Yeah.
Will you stop trying to sell that bunk center channel?
It's just
somebody. You didn't even buy it.
That's just how it is when it comes to for me, and I just can't wrap my head around spending that type of money. My brother is the type of person that.
So here's what I'll tell you.
Center channel I'll sell him.
And it comes down to design 101. Don't design for what you can do. Design for what they're asking for.
Yeah, I'm just stating from my opinion that
which matters not.
Which matters not. I mean,
neither does mine. That's the thing.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's just a perspective on the question.
If you're asking me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. If you don't like it, then don't ask the question.
Yeah.
If you're not going to like the answer, don't ask.
Ray, you got to do them like I do my boss.
Ray's got his little hairs on his neck.
My boss asked me a question. I said, "Do you want me to lie to you? Or you want me to tell you the truth?"
Yeah, you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or you want?
And then she says, "I want you to tell me the truth." Well, can you handle the truth?
Yeah.
You can't handle.
I'll give you two opportunities before the real thing come out. Do you want me to lie to you? Or you want me to tell you the truth? And if you want the truth, can you handle the truth? Now, when you get the truth and you get this deer in the headlight look on your face and start turning red.
So what I'll say is it doesn't have to get a good experience, but you're asking the question why. It's just because they do. It's
and they do, and people can charge whatever they want.
Again, how do you answer the question? So yeah, it's just because I feel like there's more to unpack here. So if, audio noob, if you want to call in, Mr. Noob, if you want to call in, more than welcome to have a discussion on that. But I just think because they do, are they worth it or not? Worth it is in the eye of the beholder. It's like, it just depends on what you want to spend. I agree with Ray. I think there's different flavors of ice cream that do the same thing. It just depends on how you want to cross the bridge and what spoon you want to use on that. All right. What's the biggest mistake people make when buying technology? I love this question.
Oh, let me answer that.
Okay, go for it.
Research.
Oh,
they don't.
All
do
right,
research.
you're gonna have to unpack that because that's a minefield. Go for it.
I think, and I'm a product of this, and this is why I think it is.
So when you say research, are you referring to
Lack of
forums where everybody's an expert?
Yeah, lack of lack of research, doing the research for yourself, and I think we've had this conversation way before on a couple of episodes ago, but it's doing the research for yourself first, and then seeing what works for you. And I've
So you say it's a mistake to do research?
no. The mistake is that people don't do the research.
Okay.
Did I understand the question correctly?
No. It's just how you interpret it. That's the question. So
The question was,
again, there's a lot to unpack on some.
what's
of
the
that
biggest mistake people make buying tech is not doing the research.
Not doing the research.
stuff. Not doing the
Not
research.
doing the research.
Okay, so you left out the not.
Yeah.
and
No, well,
The Nautilus.
Byron said it,
The
and
naut
so
sack.
I had agreed. He was like not doing the research, but I think that's what the biggest thing is. The biggest challenge is people not, Again, we were talking about my nephew who bought a TV, but then he bought the TV, and he wanted me to correct the image because he wasn't happy with the image.
And you said buy another TV.
But
That's what I said to Byron.
I just like if he would have asked me my opinion first before buying a TV, I would have given him some suggestions, and then he can take that information and do with it what he pleases with, and then go from there.
That's not what I thought
But-
you were going to say.
But I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to
But the B clause,
right.
the B clause to that is when you do research, you have to be able to decipher what's good and what's bad.
pros and cons.
So chances are, if you pull multiple sites and they saying the same exact thing, chances are that's what it means. Like Justin's biggest pet peeve is you throw it in ChatGPT and it gives you a whole list of stuff that's not true.
That had Justin.
Was that your Justin impression?
That was his Justin impression.
That was my
great.
you throw it in a whole list of ChatGPT and it shows you're not through.
I didn't realize I had a deep voice.
Well, you want me to sound like a little girly?
So yeah, but it's true. Like there's so many forums out there, and I'm not gonna get the forum community pissed off at me like they did with Justin. But but there are good people out there that are very knowledgeable that are in these forums that you can get your. But it is very important that you write down the pros and cons of every, like, if you want to buy a TV, what's the pros, what's the cons of this?
Unless you're Byron.
And so
Even when you call a professional, call multiple professionals, because one professional might be leaning toward this because that's what they most familiar with, those type of products, where another professional might be leaning towards this because those are the products they're familiar with. And then they take the two and then you analyze them and figure out what's best for you.
right.
Ian, you have any thoughts?
I do have thoughts. They're kind of jumbled at the moment. Yes, do your research. Don't believe everything you read. If you find a forum, or if you find a online site, or if you find a site where they're selling things that you're interested in, just because they say they've got good reviews or they think it's a good product, doesn't mean it is.
He's blessing the door because it shocks the piss out of him every time. I have a rule when it comes to new technology. I never buy the first generation of a new tech. I just don't.
For instance, that's the Microsoft rule. You don't buy it until after the first service pack is released.
Actually, it was the first. And it was a Ford Motor Company. When I worked for Ford Motor Company, I remember when the 2005 Mustang came out, and it was a whole different body style. It was a whole different. I think it was the SN called New Edge is what they called that model, if I remember right. No, it wasn't. It was SN 197 is what it was, but no, it was New Edge. So the short story long, if it is a giant model transition of something that this company hasn't done before, and it is drastically different than they've ever done before, then don't buy the first one. Don't buy the first variation. The reason why is typically it's going to be plagued with little idiosyncrasies and things that don't work or bugs or whatever, and the next variation is always going to be better than that one. So for those that are waiting for the damn fold iPhone, that was a running joke for me because I thought my brother has the Android version that's freaking amazing, looks great, and I thought it was cool. And for those that iPhone's never done this before, they've never come out with anything folding before. I would never buy the first version of something that they haven't done before, because chances are you're gonna pay more for it. It's gonna be buggy, and it's not gonna be as good or as cheap as the next version of it, and the next version of it is going to be better. Sony did the same thing with OLED. When Sony came out with the A1 generation, it had this weird pedestal, like we called it a kickstand because it leaned the TV back, and it was just totally stupid. But yes, I said it, and I don't care. When they came out with that first variation of it, we were looking at it like, this is weird. Why is it so thick? Why is it it was thick because of the speakers and had this built-in kickstand thing, and it was just weird. Picture was great. Picture was amazing, but the picture was buggy. And so it wasn't until the next variation of it came out, that's when everybody started buying them. Why? Because they were cheaper. They were half the price as the brand new version. So if you want to be those adopters of new technology, Audio Noob, then great, go do it. But you're going to pay more for it. And it may not be what you think it is. And the newest version that's half the price may be better. And that's what I'm saying. So that's my rule. That doesn't mean it has to be your rule. That's my rule. And this is going back to when I worked for FOMOCO with pickup trucks and all this stuff, and seeing all the new variations that were coming out. We would see them years in advance. They would give it to the technicians for us to go through. Where is it buggy? Where's the problem? Where's it gonna break? Da 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 da. And then they would go back to the factory and then make those changes and revisions if they could, and then re-release it. But the first year model of anything was always an absolute nightmare to deal with, and it's because it's what I call it's still doughy. It's not baked. That's what I'm saying. And then when companies rush out there, they know there's going to be somebody like Byron that's going to buy the newest one because it's cool. No, they know there's going to be somebody out there that's going to buy the newest one. And guess what? You're a beta tester. You're the one that's going to tell them that it breaks because...
Human guinea pig.
Yeah, there you go. And you paid more for it.
You paid to be a human guinea pig.
That's exactly what I said about bleeding edge versus leading edge.
Yeah,
If you want a new iPhone, get last year's model when this year's model comes out, because you can get one at a bargain price, and you've still got something it would have been a year old if you'd have had it a year anyway. So it doesn't matter.
So what I'll say, exactly. So Kevin, Ian and I used to work for a guy named Kevin who was always on bleeding edge and insanity. And he loved cutting edge things. And he would, you want to talk about going outside of the box to reinvent the wheel, Kevin was going to do it. And just, we can use this splitter and go into this splitter and do this splitter and do this and this and this and this, blah, 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 blah. So it was 15 steps to do one thing when you could just buy the thing that does the one thing. And that's why he and I always butted heads, because I was up and coming new tech, understood it, which is what I was saying about the whole Gen Z, Gen X thing. They're up and coming. They understand it in a different capacity than we do. And he either embraced it or it was like a ram and a thorn bush, you know. So, and because he and I would butt heads about it all the time. It's like, Ian, you've got 15 different splitters. Just buy a damn Sonos streamer. I don't like Sonos. Blah, 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 blah. Now Sonos is freaking and the albatross that they are now. You know what I mean? So, but he was doing it with like Bluetooth and trying to repeat Bluetooth and trying to run that into a splitter to try to turn 3 zones of audio. I mean, it was just such a nightmare. And there's something to be said to not be cutting edge and bleeding edge. And I never want to sell cutting edge because I want you to like me, you know, because here's the thing. If you buy cutting edge, you may not be able to turn your damn lights off in your room because it's a light switch it speaks on a different protocol. And I mean, again, I've seen all the nightmares you can imagine with cutting edge and bleeding edge technology. And you never want to be on that side of it. You just don't, because it's miserable. And then you think technology has failed, where it's really, no. To Ray's point, no, you didn't do your research on it. Here's the pros and cons. Yeah, the cons is when your light switch loses its programming, it doesn't work like a light switch anymore. And now you got to take the wall plate off and disconnect the Romex to get your lights to go off. Control 4. Yeah, I said it. I'm not sorry about it either. So that's what I'm saying is
You're a Debbie Downer on them today.
I'm not really. Well, that's the first time I've said crap about Control 4 today. But anyway, so, but yeah, no, I would say my rules are different but I think we're all saying the same thing. All right, so now we at Foshazy these nuts.
Fashizi these nuts. Fashizi these.
Fashizi, which means, are you for sure? Does that mean? Oh, sorry, I muted Ray. Had a bathroom break. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So does that mean you're for sure that you have nuts, or are you proud of the fact that you have?
Yeah, he definitely got nuts.
So many questions. Okay,
Justin doesn't have enough street cred, doesn't he?
Yeah, you don't have no street. He ain't 10 toes down in the
I
sand.
ain't 10 toes down the sand. Oh, I like that one. All right, so
Let's
all
start
right.
with question number 2.
Yeah, because I think we just covered. I think Ray just beat that one to the snot of that one with Audio Noob. On number that. So question number 2. Oh Jesus, God. Do cables really make a difference?
Yes. And I'm a living trial beta tester, human guinea pig of it.
You know, I'm gonna do this.
Dear.
Right, here we go. You ready?
Can I put rubber boots on for this one?
Are you
'Cause
ready?
I think we're gonna get
So
into
I was a strong
shit
believer
territory.
that cables did not. Right. When it comes to different types of cables, yes, I think at one point cables didn't.
Describe difference.
Well, the design and how they're made.
No. Describe when you say do they make a difference, and you just said yes. Describe difference.
Well, let's look at like you go back.
And I want to hear both answers.
Like back to your saying, the math ain't mathing. So I'm looking at the physical characteristics: oxygen-free copper versus copper clad aluminum, stranded copper. Conductivity.
Right.
So oxygen-free copper is 99% oxygen copper. So that's going to be your best conductivity unless you can afford silver, which, we ain't just in that ballpark. So you look at the physical aspects of it, that's you're getting the most, your medium is the wire. So you're getting all the electricity you can in this wire, and it's getting everything put to it. Is going to in turn increase the sound. So what I did on my center channel and my 2 towers, I bought 12 gauge oxygen-free copper.
Not from me.
Well, get an Amazon account.
High cotton. All right.
And on the wire, what's the green wire, Justin, that we use for speaker wires in a green case, and they got like 2 pairs in it, and it's like 16 gauge or whatever.
That would be 4 conductor
Yeah.
wire. Yes, sir.
So anyway, it's 16 gauge, and all those wires coming back into the amp.
Okay, 16 gauge. Okay.
I took the clips and
So short story long, you twisted them together and you made a smaller gauge, correct?
No, I took the clips and put in. I took the clips and put on them and stuck them as banana plugs on all the wires.
I know.
And so for me, it seems like, now again, I have no written proof, nothing to do with, but it seems like it sounded better to me.
So let me ask you.
Well, that's because that's why certain speakers are rated for certain gauge wires. Like you're not going to go put a 22 gauge wire on a sub, right?
Right.
You're gonna do it either 10 or 12 because that it needs that what's the word, that thickness,
Right.
to be able to transfer the signal.
Down with the thick.
The lower, because the bigger the wire, the lower the resistance. So therefore, from the amp, you're getting the most power.
So you twisted the red and the white together and the black and the green together, yes?
No.
You use 16 gauge wire.
I just
you
took.
have a
Oh no!
four
What I
conductor.
did, all I did was took the wires that was going into the terminals in back of the amp that was screwed, and pull them out and put these.
So you put
clips
banana
on them,
plugs in.
and put banana plugs on every last one of them.
Well, why did you use four conductor?
That was already ran. I didn't change that.
Oh, so somebody...
I mean, it comes out of the wall in four, like whatever the ones come out of the wall. And
Right, so I'm going to ask it again. You took the red and the white and put that into the red banana plug and the black and the green and put that in the black.
no, I put red in one plug and black in another plug and plug them back into red and black of the amp.
So you
but
didn't
what
do
did you do with the
anything.
other two?
You didn't do anything with white and green.
I didn't do nothing. No, it's not. It's no white and green in it.
Oh, I thought you said there was white and green.
It's just the casing
Oh,
is
so
green.
I'm so confused.
it's two conductor cable.
Two conductor cable that's in green.
Okay,
case.
so you're saying banana plugs made a difference.
But between the banana plugs and the 12 gauge I run to the tower speakers that came out, it made a difference.
Gotcha.
Now, one more upgrade we're going to do when I change my AVRs is
He's got a friend in his pocket.
I'm the Integra AVR has XLR plugs.
It's a little
So I'm gonna run dual XLR plugs to the remote amp that runs the towers because so-called it's supposed to be a 5 dB gain because of the balance outputs.
Because it's a balanced cable.
It's a balanced cable.
So, Ray, you weren't a believer in cable, and now you are.
At first,
Okay.
right? Because I don't think that at the time of all this, because as technology improved, right, is what kind of changed my mind. Technology in cable making, the type of cable. I will never use, we use stranded cable a lot, but like when it comes for any type of cable, whether that's a USB, USB-C, RCA. Well, I say RCA, that's more archaic, but like any type of cable is because of just like what Byron said, like it just like the type of copper that you're using, or if you're using silver, whatever the better conductive is as far as the cable goes. But I think that like it really, back then, I don't think it made such a huge difference to go buy speaker cable from Walmart or go buy it from an AV store at the time. But as the quality got better, it really did make a difference, because now you have people who are making speaker cable as faster, yet at a cheaper rate than you are at getting better quality.
But when you say difference, what are you? I'm just asking, devil's advocate. When you say difference, what are you referring to?
It's the material used.
It's no. But when you say difference, are you referring to an audible difference, a measurable difference, or just
both?
difference?
It's just a measurable difference on them, because
Okay.
with better conductivity that you have on the speaker cable, you're gonna be able to transfer the signal better.
To the quiet man sitting in the corner.
Just got a notification. No power at home. Won't be restored until after 7 p.m.
So the podcast is going to be extra long. Got it. What is your theory on cables?
I don't have a theory on cables. If it's got two pieces of wire that you can run to a speaker, anything I've ever used has worked. And I'm not an audiophile. I don't.
Right.
I mean, I think Byron probably thinks it sounds better because he's done it to make it sound better. It's the placebo effect. He's like, okay, yeah, I've done this, and
I think I asked him that very same question actually when he did. I was like, so does it sound better because you did something, or does it sound better because it sounds better?
Because you think it sounds better.
Right. All right. So here's what I'll say is, do audio cables make a difference? Short story long, yes, they do, but not the way you think. Not the way it's perceived from the normal salesperson side of things. I think that you'll never regret. I turn into Daffy Duck for a minute. You'll never regret it. Marriage is what keeps us together. Yeah, no. So you'll never regret. Jesus, where did that even come from?
I don't know, man. Just keep going.
I'm trying to get used to this voice thing. All right, so I don't think you'll regret buying a high quality cable. I think you'll regret spending stupid amounts of money on high quality cables, thinking it's going to make a high quality difference. And that's the unpopular opinion from the AV sales side. Here's what I like about high quality cables. One, they stand behind their warranty. They typically have better longevity. They don't corrode as fast depending on the jacket they use. And I have usually better results with those things. So here's the thing that pisses me off the most. If I have to roll a truck, you laughed. You're like, okay, please tell us what pisses you off the most.
What grinds your gears?
What grinds you? I saw that. This is why we need to be on a video cast, because I was just like, wait a minute, I caught that. No, so here's what I'll say. If I have to roll a truck because of a loose wire, it pisses me off. If I have to roll a truck because of a broken RCA cable, it pisses me off. If I have to roll a truck because the head falls off of an HDMI cable, it's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of the client's money. So if you buy a $30 Amazon cable, which, by the way, I've found a very high failure point on some of that stuff, and, $60 mono price cable that actually has pretty good results with that stuff, and then a $300 AudioQuest cable. AudioQuest has a lifetime warranty. Is it worth the $300? Nah, that's if you want to spend it or not. But are you going to get $300 worth of audio difference? No, you're not. And I'm saying that. You're not going to get $300 worth of audio difference. However, if I get a surge, which we just had not too long ago, that goes through my system and it blows my HDMI cable, I can call AudioQuest. They'll cover the cost of that cable. They're not going to do that with monoprice. Now, I know some of your rebuttals are going to be like, well, you can buy three monoprice cables for what one audio. Yes, you can. That's true. You can. That's true. And so that's the argument there. But you'll never regret going with a small gauge or a large gauge cable. So it's different than what most end users think for the audio noobs and stuff. It's different. The smaller the number, the bigger the gauge. The larger the number, the smaller the gauge. So now if you're talking about going from an 18 gauge wire to a 12 gauge wire, yes, there will be an audible difference. Absolutely. There will be.
You should use Romex.
Exactly. Well, or lamp cord, whatever.
Yeah.
That's always the other excuse is, oh, you should just use lamp cord. You can, but guess what? Romex is going to cost more than the high end speaker cables right now. It's about $200 for 15 feet. So. That's what I'm saying. So, thank you, manufacturing. Yeah, no. So that's what I'm saying. So
it comes back to this bleeding edge, leading edge thing. The other thing is you could pay $300 for your AudioQuest cable that's got a lifetime warranty. But in 2 years' time, when you might have gone through 3 monoprice cables, there will be a new version of HDMI out, which you need a new HDMI cable.
Which they would upgrade you to anyway. That's what they're going to
free.
Do. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Companies will lose too much money for that.
No.
AudioQuest?
Would you like an example?
Please enlighten me.
No, I would absolutely.
Yeah.
I would absolutely like you.
Sure.
There was a guy who had a pair of, at the time they were referred to as AudioQuest Dragon cables. They were $35,000 for a pair of speaker cables, but he had $250,000 Sonos Faber speakers. So he used the cables that fit the job, whatever. So, and I'm not going to fault him for that. If he wants those cables, great. So it was either one of two things. It was either his housekeeper spraying it with whatever floor cleaner she was using, or the cat peeing on it, one of the two, because he had cats. So it was one of those two things. And the outside of the braided jacket became sticky on the cable. And so he tried cleaning it. He tried using everything you can imagine, simple green, tough stuff, all that stuff to get this coating off of it. And so he finally called us and he said, man, I know there's probably not anything you can do on this, but these cables are sticky. They have the sticky coating on them, and it was all the way down the cable, so I doubt it was the cat. It was probably how you mop a floor or whatever. Anyway, so whatever they used was causing that cable to come apart. It was causing the jacket to become soft and sticky, and then when you have pets, then it's going to attract fuzz and fur and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Let's just bring a set of them in, bring one of them in, and we'll kind of do some research on it. So I called AudioQuest, and at the time there was, I won't say his name, but I've said his name before. He worked for that company, and he worked for AudioQuest, and they said, hey, got this pair of Dragons. They've got a sticky coating where it seems like they're disintegrating along the edge of the cable, and he's just trying to figure out what his options are to get a different cable and whatnot. And he said, yeah, sure. Tell you what, do me a favor, pull the jacket down on the side of the cable. You're going to have to split it with a razor blade and pull the jacket down. There's a serial number on it. And I was like, okay. So gave him the serial number. AudioQuest said, yep. We know exactly who that is. We know what the PO number is. We know where it came from. We know the store it came from. Because I don't even think he bought it from us at the time. We were just a dealer. And they said he'll have a new set of cables by tomorrow. He goes, it's kind of late in the day, so if it's not tomorrow, it'll be the next day. And just put his in the box and then ship them back to us, because we see that there's other flags for this type of issue for this particular style of cable that was now, I think, 8 years old at the time. And we're going to go ahead and just give him the newest one. So
okay, so
they stood behind it. They totally stood behind it, and that's a testament to. But when you pay $30,000 for
they're gonna treat you like royalty, right? But it's when you have a situation where it's like, act of God. I mean, does that include part of their warranty?
Don't know. I'm not an AudioQuest dealer anymore, yeah, so it's just that's the thing is they've changed structurally a little bit, but I do know they still stand behind the HDMI stuff and stuff like that. If you're talking about and again, I don't even know the names of them. I know the older names. What used to be a Forest or a Pearl cable, HDMI cable, and you get a strike and it blows the head out of it. They can't tell you that it was a strike that caused it. All they can tell you is that the cable's not passing video anymore, and It's not the receiver, and it's not the projector. And we've checked it back and forth, and we're between. We've narrowed it down to this cable, and they say, okay, replace the cable. Okay. So they stand behind it. But again, here's what I'll say. Going back, does it make an audible difference? If you're using a lighter gauge of wire, yes, it will make an audible difference. If you're going from a 22 gauge wire to a 12, yeah, it's going to make an audible difference, absolutely, because it's a better conductor and it's passing current.
You get more power to the speakers.
But if you're going to a 12, if you're going from a 14 gauge to a 12 gauge, probably not. It's probably not going to make an audible difference. Now you could see a difference on a voltmeter, and it would probably give you a half a dB, which isn't really audible, or a dB, which isn't really audible. But it's just like, the thing is the cable topic is very sticky to get into, because some people say, well, it's HDMI, it either works or it doesn't. Nope, I've seen HDMI's handshake faster when they're better cables. I have.
I had HDMI cables that wouldn't play HDR.
Well, yeah, and those totally make a difference.
Again,
You said this 2 weeks ago. You said, well, God, what did you say? You said, well, back then we didn't need any of those specs. And you were right.
We didn't, yeah.
You didn't. And half the people that bought the expensive ones back then, the specs have changed and they still don't work.
But when you go from 16 gauge to 12 gauge, and that's what I did.
Right.
Because you remember that I had the flat monster cable.
Right.
And then I had the 16 gauge that went to the center channel.
Right.
So all those are 12 gauge now.
Right. So here's what I'll
On
say:
top of getting a more powerful amp.
is if you think that,
the one that I stole.
hey, you know what? If it's the tires that if that's the tires you want to put on the car, then you go on with your bad self. You know, and that's what I'd say is you're never going to regret doing a high quality cable, but there is a stupid factor that comes into play here. You know, like Ray, what do you wire your theaters with? 6 gauge, 8 gauge, 10 gauge? What are you using?
It depends on the
I just standard IMAX theater. You're building a theater. What are you using for gauge of wire?
anywhere from 14 to 10.
Okay, 14. Yeah, exactly. And the longer runs get the 10. Correct?
The low ends, we'll do low ends at 10.
At 10. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The longer the run, yes, it makes a difference. The gauge makes a difference on the length of the run.
Right.
But if you're talking about 15 feet.
So that's a conversation me and Justin had. So I have 2 10-inch subs on a bike in a bag. And I got 16 gauge speaker wire right into them. And one guy was trying to make me believe that if I ran 8 gauge, they'd be louder. But we're talking about a 1.5 run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And you were wearing 10. You were using 10.
No, I'm using 16.
So here's what I would.
But he said,
but it
he
also
said-
But
depends.
that's on low frequency though.
But yeah, but it also depends on how big your driver is too. So you're not gonna
it's a 10-inch sub.
a 10-inch sub. You're not gonna run 8-inch or 8 gauge wire to it.
But that's
at a foot.
They doing it. That's the thing. And with the mind concept that's what is required to do. And me and Justin, I had Justin in conversation. I said, well, if I got 8 gauge going to the terminals, and from the terminals to the voice call, I got this little small thin piece of wire, what's the point? And then that's when he highlighted to me that small piece of wire is based on a tune because it's full silver, and silver is a much better conductor than anything else that's out there. And that gauge of the wire is based on how low they want the speaker to play.
So my thing is
I don't agree with that.
once the cable
agree
is a
with you.
proper gauge and good copper, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's what I get. You know, if you want to pay extra and get oxygen-free unicorn copper, then that's fine. Which you did, and it's great. It's good stuff. Oxygen, there's nothing wrong with oxygen-free copper. It doesn't corrode as fast if you keep it sealed. You know,
And if it's tinted, it doesn't corrode at all.
Right. You know, shielding makes a difference. Shielding prevents, low frequency hum and noise. As far as interconnects, XLR totally makes a difference between XLR and RCA. XLR is always better for longer runs, less susceptible to 60 cycle over longer distances. I mean, I
If
use
you're running balanced or unbalanced.
right. Well, when I say XLR, that's would be balanced, and RCA would be unbalanced. Yeah. So, the ones and zeros thing on the HDMI cable, it's overquoted. Everybody, it's just ones and zeros. Either doesn't work or it works. And it's like, yes and no.
True back then.
Now it does make a difference because it makes a difference with handshakes. If you turn your system on and you are staring at a blank screen that says HDMI, blah, 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 bliggity, blah, chances are you need to upgrade your cable. If you upgrade to the newer cables, it's going to talk faster, it moves faster, less handshake time. But as far as you being able to see deeper blacks and wider color spectrum and all of these esoteric terms, the answer is probably not. You're not going to see it between it's communication is what it is. And the better cables, HDMI over fiber, active HDMI, things like that. Ray broke his microphone and he is totally screwing it up over there.
That's a sign. I got to end this.
I've tried to. No, he's waving the flag on the play. Yeah. No. Okay. So, all right, we beat the cables to death. Or somebody, please just beat me to death with cables. It's fine. Sorry, that wasn't. Probably she'd probably pay you.
When do I sign up?
Yeah. What? Yeah. No money involved. When money's involved, he wants to do it. All right. So. We can skip around on any of those questions. He's asked a lot of Mr. D's nuts asked a few of them. Subwoofer play. I think we kind of knocked subwoofer replacement.
Go down to cactus nuts. What is the whole nuts family?
Yeah, the whole nut family. the whole nut job family.
The second one is be a good end question.
What's that?
Physical media is dead or is making a comeback.
Oh, that's an easy one. But go ahead. If Ian wants to answer it.
Physical media is making a comeback where possible.
Okay.
I sent you something the other day. Vinyl sales were up and exceeded.
See, so the interesting thing about this is I'm wondering if people that want you to buy vinyl are sending these things out so people will buy vinyl. Oh, it's making a comeback. I'm going to go buy it again.
What we saw yesterday was in Best Buy. They had a special. You buy one vinyl record, you get one free.
Trying to give it away. Yeah,
And the one was like $20. So you get two for $20. But, I mean, the selection was very, very, very limited.
I'll say it this way. I'm a disc warrior. I've been a disc warrior for a long time. I haven't purchased a disc in probably 10 years. Or no, that's not right. Whenever Maverick came out on disc, I bought it on disc. That was the last disc I actually bought. So whenever that movie came out, which was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah, we won't talk about if it was one of the best movies in the past decade.
It's one.
So
I hate it.
See, he conceded. He said it's one.
But I hate it.
So he
cost
conceded.
me a ton of money.
So that was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So what I'll say is, if you're a Blu-ray guy, DVD guy, Ultra HD guy, the thrill's gone, man. They're not coming back. It's not. And I'll go on record and I'll eat humble pie if I have to when it happens, and eat the humility if I'm wrong. But when you lose $780 billion on an industry, you're not bouncing back from that very easily. So you don't really have a lot of ammunition to crank start the machines on the presses to get the polymer going again to make DVDs and Blu-rays.
Is that technology done passed by? Can they still do that? Can they still produce?
They can. They can in some cases. Well, vinyls, yes. So vinyls, absolutely, because they're going to, because people are buying them for $50 a damn vinyl, which is absolutely insane to me. But
because you're old.
Yeah, well,
I think I would probably, believe it or not, I would probably spend $50
you use Sonos
on Phil Collins' Genesis album to get the acapella version of "In the Air Tonight," just so I could hear the crackle.
Oh, here he goes. There's his impression. That's his favorite.
You know what I'm saying? I would do that.
But that's what people like. I mean, they do the same thing. I mean, what do you think? Like, when it comes to more of an analog variation of whatever it is that you're listening to or watching, people want that. I mean, you could go back to you look at what's going on, in the film industry right now, between digital cinema and film. So it's like people, they're going to go sell out, movies like Interstellar or Project Hail Mary for being on 70 millimeter film.
So here's why vinyl made a comeback. VPI, Project, Marantz, Technics, Denon, Ray Snips, JBL, Sony. There are so many people that have old vinyl collections and that are buying these record players or these vinyl. Sorry, I said the record word. People with VPI are going to stone me for that. Yeah. But the vinyl players.
Buzz yourself.
And I think, yeah, no kidding. But I think there's relevance there. There's been a resurge because there's a common interest. There's a younger generation that's interested in it. But right there, I listed 8 turntable companies. Ray, name 3 companies that make Blu-ray players right now.
Philips.
Panasonic, Sony.
Panasonic.
That's it.
Sony.
2.
Yeah.
Two out of
JVC.
Nope. JVC's out. Samsung's out. LG's out. In fact, Sony's now out. They make
That's not surprising. With
they make one. No, not right now.
I'm
Anyway,
trying to figure out how they making money. They ain't making TVs. No
they
more.
want to
They ain't
manufacture and sell it to everyone else. They want to design.
it's all patent. It's like it's like THX, right?
Sony
it's
owns
all
4K.
patent.
They sold 4K. If the TV says 4K on it, Sony's getting money off of it.
So yeah,
They own 8K.
and anything that has like, if you're looking at like the Dolby, like if you're playing Dolby Atmos, that's all licensed. So that's how Dolby still makes a lot
Yeah.
of more.
Why would you want to own a factory if you can make money to all the other people's from all the other people that'll buy your
Right.
tech?
So basically, they're making money off of royalties.
Yep.
lot.
Exactly.
And again, licensed.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So I would say physical media, yes on the vinyl, no on the CD, DVD, Blu-ray, Ultra HD. I think their day is kind of coming on. Maybe CD. I don't know. CD is just not as sexy as vinyl. It's just not. It's just there's something organic about vinyl that people love, and to me, it's a way to unplug. It's a way to stay off your damn phone. You throw in a record, open a bottle, hang out, listen to music.
Well, vinyl's the only analog recording medium.
You're right, 100%.
I mean, CDs when they came out, they were AAD.
Right, they were harsh. Yeah,
They
What
they
about
are
cassettes?
digital, and streaming is digital.
Yes.
and everything
I like how he says digital.
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 What about cassettes?
Orange chutney.
It wasn't cassettes wasn't analog.
Cassettes were analog.
Cassettes are 100% analog. You can't get any more. They're basically a vinyl you could put in your cart. It's still using a plastic filament where a needle just
I
reads.
think they.
without
I
the
think.
without the crackle.
I think.
Right. No, they had
cassettes
crackle,
degrade.
especially when your deck ate it.
I think tape degrades.
It does.
Vinyl probably doesn't degrade as much.
It depends on how you store it, I think. And I think storage comes into the factor of that, and shelf space. That's why, that's why streaming kind of took over a lot of those things.
I think digital media also degrades. I mean,
Explain.
I don't know. I just
How does
Well, like-
no? How did I'm asking. How
I
does
said
it?
I think.
Well, no, but how? I'm
Just if you're
asking.
storing it, I mean, it just
You're talking about physically storing digital
Physically
media on a hard drive.
Yes.
Not like streaming something from your
Right.
phone to something
Yeah,
else.
I could see that because it's not
Sure.
the digital media is degrading. It's the hard drive that's
Yep.
degrading.
No, I had it when I was in the gray area of not building media servers. If the hard drive started aging, the movie would start like juddering and skipping, and then it would try to find its place, and then it would try to find it again, and just like any other medium,
Well, I mean, what do you think of whatever CDs or Blu-rays or the actual physical disc itself? I mean, that material's not forever.
No, it's not.
So
It's not. You're exactly right. And
Am I
you're
wrong
shooting
on that?
and you're shooting it with a laser. No, you're not off.
So-
No, it's not going to last forever. They wear out. They get thin. The polymer gets thinner. The player will not be able to read the disc like it did before, and then sometimes just the disc won't work.
And just for the record, I refuse to play music CDs.
What a
in my theater.
good comment. Just for the record, talking about no pun intended.
I will not. I refuse to play music in my theater.
Okay, so then just reads into the next one. Why does music sound different on vinyl versus?
Because it's analog.
It's because it's analog. It's a needle.
It's the crackle.
It's
You're missing the point.
No,
It's
forget the crackle. No, the crackle's only there because you don't clean your vinyl.
He's right.
But I love the crackle.
Then
Some
Then
songs
don't clean it.
Some songs is. I mean, if it's not the same effect if it doesn't have the crackle.
that's like when you pull on your hair and it doesn't squeak.
Dude,
that
you
means
can't-
your
you can't
hair's-
tell me.
you know,
Hey,
it's
you
not.
can't
They're
tell me
clean.
when you listen to "In the Air Tonight," "In the Air Tonight" on vinyl, and the whole acapella version he's singing, and you got the crackle in between the background. Doesn't sound.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
it do
your
something to
crackle
you?
might be different to somebody else's crackle.
It's a lot of crackle in these nuts. All right, so
on cactus nuts.
and cactus. No, we hadn't got to his questions
But
yet.
I mean,
don't
I'm
think we're
serious
gonna
though.
get
You
to
know,
it. So
that's just
the-
a ambiance, I guess. I mean, I just
here's what I'll say. people gravitate toward vinyl because it's warmer. It's again, it's an unplugged. You can't say any better than Ian did. It's analog. It's an analog experience. It's an unplugged, organic thing. It's literally two physical objects touching one another, reading a wave, and it's like a carburetor. It's a miracle the effing thing worked to begin with. You know, it's just and there's something cool about that.
Two physical objects touching each other.
But I'm still not paying $50 a record. So, you know, it's just...
And I'm not paying $50,000 for a speaker.
Yeah, but I can get more out of my $50,000 speakers than I can for one record.
But
maybe,
can you?
maybe not.
I can.
Can you?
I can.
I don't think you can.
Because I can watch multiple things and I don't have to listen to the same record.
Yeah, you don't have the crackle.
You want crackle? Find it in a pipe or your bowl of Rice Krispies for paying
Crack.
that much.
That's crack.
For a
That's not crackle. It's difference. Two differences. Crack and crackle is different.
Wait, wasn't Crackle a ripoff of Captain Crunch anyway? You know, isn't that like
I don't know,
isn't that
man.
like
I just-
Tostios or something?
You know what the best thing is? Like,
Hey,
you
no,
know,
the
just
best thing is he
give-
say two people touching each other, and I want to know, does that count as nuts?
Oh
No,
God, we're back
but
to the nuts
it's
again.
like-
We need to draw a line and start episode 2, I think.
No, yeah, well, it's episode 2. Why?
I mean, episode 2 of this week.
Oh, well,
Otherwise,
maybe
people are just going to get bored of all our
babbling.
nonsense and babbling.
I don't think we're babbling at all. We're just answering questions. So
We're gonna have to finish the questions on the next episode.
yeah, no, I think we've got like pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. And
So let's real quick before we end any of this. You know, Justin, you asked us a question.
what's that?
The question was, how do you feel about 2,900?
Are you asking me the question?
We are asking you the question. The question you asked us earlier
Yeah.
on how you feel.
Oh, are you
about
going to answer it this time?
I already answered the question.
You.
Okay.
He's asking you to
I'm
answer
asking you.
it.
You asked
How do
everybody
you feel
else.
about it?
Now you on the hot seat, buddy.
Seeing as you know most of these 2,900 people
don't-
anyway.
You know the man in the boat.
I don't know the man in the. Wow, that's a loaded one. All right, so man in the. Okay.
His name was Noah.
Yeah, that's the ark, not a boat. Just like Jonah, it was a fish, not a whale. All right, so how do I feel about it? I think it's inspiring. It's inspiring that folks out there want to listen to four nut jobs argue about
For
technology.
yourself.
I am. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. It's like the part that you guys don't see during the day because you have real jobs and real lives, is we get calls from New York. We get calls from California. We get calls from Florida. We get calls from, and the fun common denominator out of all that is, man, I listened to this last episode, or I listened to, and sometimes I got to go look back at the episode because we talk about so much stuff, and
So
just-
people are calling the store based on listening to the podcast.
so,
Is that what you're saying?
well, yeah, it's just, it's a different experience, and it's growing organically. Like we had a guy walk in, Friday and asked Hannah, she said, "Hey, is there a guy named Justin that works here?" And because he had listened to season 1, didn't know that we had a season 2, started listening to season 2. I had said something about Define on one of the billion episodes we've done at this point, on season 2, and he looked up Define, found it. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like there's a lot of, I'm getting to meet a lot of interesting people. I had one guy drive in from Dallas yesterday because he listened to the show. One guy drive in from Austin to see The Beast because he listened to the show. That's what I'm saying. It's I'm getting to meet these folks. So it's kind of an interesting, I don't know whether to be flattered. I don't know whether to be weirded out. I don't know whether to be, it's kind of a spin cycle. And right now it's a hard day for me to answer it because my brain's in a spin cycle at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
Because I lost a dear friend and just so it's kind of weird, but it's exciting. it's neat. It's, when we started season 2, we had a couple hundred listeners, and now it's doubled and tripled, and now we have more listeners than we've ever had before, even when it was with Tony and myself. Ian was a listener, and if it hadn't been for Ian, we wouldn't be sitting here in this room.
I think I got somewhat involved in season 1.
You did. No, you were on a few episodes as you was a guest speaker, and I think, and then if it hadn't been for him, then we wouldn't have a season 2, because it was his cattle prod that kept, just
Story
hey,
of my life, cattle prodding you.
yeah, exactly. You got to get out. You got to get out there. You got to start playing again. We got to get the podcast going
If
again.
I hadn't have cattle prodded him, this store would not be here now.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. And the room wouldn't be here now, and
that's
the
good.
studio wouldn't be
I think-
now.
I
and
think-
so it's different.
I
Yeah.
think, it's probably,
I wouldn't have the
kinda
family that I'm sitting in the room with right now, and so
that's sweet.
and even you, yeah, no,
Thank you.
yeah. So
Shot.
That's okay.
I think
I like
it's
being the black sheep.
it's somewhat overwhelming, and it's somewhat flattering in the same thing. When a guy like Josh, who's as talented as he is, and he wants to come on the show, he was like, man, I would love to come on the show and just hang out with you guys. Josh is, if you think I'm brilliant, he's on a whole different stratosphere of that.
Who said we thought that?
Do what?
Who said we thought that?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So
Oh,
it's
you
fine.
think you're a genius? You're a genius if you don't believe you.
No, I can't say that. No, I'm a dysfunctional mad scientist. Yeah, no. So
You're a savant.
yeah, there we go. And that's the thing is you've got guys all over the country. I mean, if you go look at the measles on the map, I call them measles because it's all these red dots. Dude, there's people in Africa and Brazil, and there's a guy in a boat, and there's a guy in Australia that Ian's very proud of, and
I don't know him.
there's several in the
the Gold
UK,
Coast.
which is probably his mother and his family that's over in the UK. That's what I'm saying. But it's just like, I think it's going to create, it's just fun. To me, we're all having fun. We can all play, you gripe at each other and throw shots at each other and disagree with one another. And I think it's a very comforting thing that 4 people with 4 different backgrounds, 4 different dynamics can come together, and it's a breath of fresh air that we can either agree or disagree in the same room without trying to fire shots, which is not what you hear on the air. The whole reason that my whole vision for this thing, which is why Ian's here, was to create a Top Gear for technology. And we can't create Top Gear without a British guy. No,
Captain Slow.
yeah, no. It was to create Top Gear for technology. It was
Are you DEI?
the
What?
the
I've never been arrested for anything, Your Honor.
that's DUI.
Oh, okay.
A DWI.
DWI.
No.
It's
Wow,
it's
so that's what it was.
wow. Da-da-da-da. No, and
I had to
it's
go.
shots
Sorry.
fired. I need that button. I need the shots fired button.
But no, I mean, everything you said, I agree with.
No, whoa.
Totally.
Let it be made. Let it be made.
That's
known.
twice.
Let it,
You don't know. On the bonus episode, we had
let it be made known on the calendar.
For the record,
Raymond and Justin agreed. So will the haters please stop hating? And I have been nice to Raymond, who is now wearing pink socks. It's very freaking hard to be nice to Raymond when he's wearing pink socks, by the way.
I think that's a complex you have
True.
because I don't think you're man enough to wear pink.
I can wear pink as long as
It's
it's
not
pants.
pink, it's salmon.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
I would not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. It's more salmon.
No, it's salmon socks. No, Ian's probably got socks with cats on them and Darth Vader on them and all kinds of things on. No, I'm flattered. At the end of the day, it's something that 2 guys were in a room, threw spaghetti at the wall, said, "Hey, let's try this," and tried to do something different. And it was because so many people are mean on forums. So many people are so freaking hateful out there. When somebody asks a basic question, it's like people they jump out of the woodworks with gasoline and a flamethrower.
Like, what are you, stupid?
Yeah, exactly. and that's why this show exists. And I can't say that without also paying homage to Tony as well, because he was my ride or die back then. And it was just one of those things where he just kind of rode along and with this crazy idea that I had. And then Ian came into play, and then you came into play, and then Byron's falling asleep and came into play.
Byron's before me, but
Byron, well, no, actually, we did a test episode before Byron, and
you should air that. I thought that was a good one.
That
You
was
should
this,
put- you
and
should put
I
in.
should
You
air
still
it.
have it.
Yeah, no, I do still have it. It's actually in the can, and I just have to hit release, and it'll be released. So that's the thing is. Did I think it would go this far? No, I hope we're at 16,000 3 months from now. I hope we're at 30,000 a year from now. You know what I mean? It's just like,
But with those numbers comes different aspects of it. So we have to be careful as we grow and as the number grow that we still remain as fun to us.
right.
Yeah,
You don't
I
want
think
the,
you know
you
what.
don't you don't want the numbers to create an environment where you got constraints.
Yeah, so
Right.
I think what would make it better is that if Justin goes across the street and tries to get a sponsorship by Taqueria Arandas,
And play.
and that way we can have margaritas right here.
If I'm gonna go margaritas, we're gonna call Jason in from Cilantro's, and he's
well, you
just
got
gonna
the
be.
hookup, man. Why don't you just-
He's just gonna be an in-house. He'll make the margaritas while we're doing
And the
the show.
pina coladas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
it-
Well, I need the store to hurry up and open up so my wife can have some place to hang out while I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
I think they're open. Are they not open yet? The Perina.
Yeah, I think
Persina,
they
things like that.
open
So-
like
What is
sometime this month.
what is that?
No, so
Like a fabric store.
short story long, I look forward to every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's my life. It's when I see the questions and I'm and all this stuff, and yeah, some of them are some of the
Sounds
names.
like a song coming on.
Well, no, some of the names are.
I think that's when you start hearing that.
So,
Phil Collins coming in.
some of the names. Do not ask him to do his record player.
No.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's cool that four guys that are as talented as we are can come in a room unscripted
make people
and just-
laugh.
and make people laugh and entertain. And according to Ian, bore them with our
Make
gibberish.
each other laugh.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's where it's at. So thank you for asking, though. So so next week we're just gonna go ahead and start answering questions. We're gonna get into there was some kind of 5G, how it affects your health questions, things like that. We'll get into some of that stuff, and then I guess we'll see you in a bit. Byron, take us out.
Say hello to my little friends. Till next time.
Bye.
Deuces.
Deuces. So you're gonna shit on the audience now?
Again, no street cred.
No street credit.
Sorry.
Yeah, come on, we got to. Hey, I'm gonna have to bring you on down there on Martin Luther King Drive and let you hang out a little while.
Well, you got a shirt with 78 on. Does that mean you're still into vinyl?
But that can relate to that, but that's not what that means. But I explained to you what that means. But yeah.